In the previous class, we learned about basic input-output in Python. In this class, we will learn about the conditional statements. A conditional statement is where you evaluate or check a condition, and based on that, you divert the flow into one way or the other. We need to do that also in programming. So, in the idle editor, we will start right away with a simple example. Let us first ask the user to enter a number. Print. Then, please enter a number. Then, we will read the user input to a variable. Say, number equals to input. From the previous class, we know that we need to typecast this input to integer data type. So, we will use the int function here. The user input is now converted to int and saved into this variable. Let us find out whether this is an even number or odd number. We will write remainder equals to number %2. This percent sign here is an operator. It gives us the remainder after dividing the first number with the second number. So we got the remainder part after dividing by 2. If this remainder is 0, we know that the input number is an even number. Otherwise it is odd number. So we write if the remainder equals to 0. We are comparing remainder to 0. Here this equals to is not an assignment operator, it is a comparison operator. It compares two entities and returns true if they have the same value, otherwise it returns false. So we checked if the remainder is equal to 0. Now put a colon and come to the next line. If the remainder is 0, maybe we print a message. Even number. This is for the true case, that is, if this condition is met, this line will get executed. And if the condition is not met, if it is false, we write else. Then a colon. And in the next line, we will display another message. Print odd number. The generic structure of an if-else statement looks like this in any programming language. But in Python, this colon indicates that a new block is started. Python will execute the following block of statements only if this condition is true. Here, we need to indent this line, so that Python includes this statement in the if block. The use of a colon at the end of a line, and then an indentation, creates a multi-line statement, or a statement block. Any statement with this exact indentation will be included into this if block. This else line will not have an indentation, because it is a separate block on its own. It is not part of the if statement. The if block will end as soon as it finds a line with a different indentation, or no indentation. Again, for this else block, we have to indent the print statement, so that it is included in the else block, or it gets executed if the condition is not met. Here I have used 4 spaces to indent these lines. You can use anything, 2, 3 or any number of spaces, for each level of indentation. But whatever you choose, use that consistently everywhere. So, this conditional statement displays 2 different messages based on whether the remainder is 0 or not. Let us now save this file. And then, run this code. Please enter a number. Let us first go with 12. It is an even number. Run it again. This time let us try with 17. Cool. Odd number. Now in this if-else statement, instead of checking the equality, we can also check whether the remainder is not equal to 0. For that, add an exclamation mark before the equals to sign. This pair of symbols makes the non-equality operator. If remainder is anything other than 0, this condition will be true. Then we need to also change the message. Odd and even will get swapped. This is the principle of any gating criteria. If the condition is reversed, the output will also get reversed. So, let us now try a more complex example for if-else. Instead of a number, let us ask the user to enter his age this time. We can delete this entire thing. And this number variable, although it will still work fine, but we should try to use a meaningful name always. So, change this to age. This will store the age entered by the user. Let us assume that any age below 1, or above 100, is an invalid age. So we will first check if the input age is valid or not. If age less than 1, or age greater than 100, that is our condition. Then indent the line and print a message. Invalid. Age Here we have combined these two, less than and greater than conditions, with an or operator. If any one of them is true, the entire condition check will be true, and this line will get executed. Just to remind you, we need to put a colon, and then indent the next set of statements that we want to execute under this condition. You can combine 2 or 3, or any number of conditions together like this. Let us now see if it actually works. First save the file, then run the module. Enter your age. We will enter some negative number. Invalid age, perfect. Run once again. This time, enter 102. Invalid age. What if we enter something within the range? Say, 37. Nothing really happens. That is because we have not put any code after this. Since this condition is not met, the control comes over here, but there is nothing more to execute, so the execution stops. Let us now check if the user is a teenager. If this age is between 13 and 19, so if age is greater than 12. And also, if it is less than 20. Put a colon. In the next line, indent this and print a message. That you are a teenager. Okay. So we have two conditions here, greater than 12 and less than 20. We joined them using AND operator. If both the conditions are true, only then this print statement will be executed. Otherwise, let us come to the else part. Do not forget to put the colon and indent the lines under this block. So we print any generic message. You are a general citizen. One thing to note here. We did not write any else part for this if statement. An else part is optional. If it is not needed, do not add it. And if you are joining multiple such conditions in one statement, group them under parentheses or brackets to ensure the right logical meaning. Let us now save this file and run the code once again. We will first enter a smaller number, maybe 7. It gives the correct output. Now run it once more. Enter your age. Let us type 13. Teenager. Perfect. Run it again, and this time we will go above the boundary. 72. You are a general citizen. So, this code is working. We can create more branches here. Right now, we have only 2 cases, either teenager or non-teenager. We can add another such branch here by using one elif clause. Elif is the short form for else if. Elif and then we put a condition, age greater than 60, under which we can write print. And then a message. You are a senior citizen. Okay. You can add yet another elif for another branch. Let us separate out the children. We write age less than 13. Elif must have a condition like if. And under this condition, we will print a message. Don't forget to indent it. Print. You are a child. Bracket close. This way, you can create as many branches as you need for your program logic. Remember, there can be only one if condition and one else clause, but many elifs can be added. Python will start evaluating the if conditions from the top. If this first condition is not true, only then it will check the second elif condition. If not true, then the third elif. So basically, it will exit as soon as it finds one true condition. In place of this less than condition, we can also write less than or equal to. Just type less than and then equal to 12. This means less than or equal to the right side value. And similarly, we also have greater than or equal to operator, just in case you need. Let us now save this file and run it. This error that we get is called a syntax error. This is because we made a mistake in this line. We closed the bracket without closing the string literal or the quote. We need to close the quote appropriately. Now it should be fine. Let us run it. Enter your age. So 12. You are a child. Run it again. This time enter 70. You are a senior citizen. Very good. Run once more, and we will go with number 32. You are a general citizen. Let us run it within teenage limits. 19. You are a teenager. So, we have tested all branches here. This is how a multi-case if-else works. One good tip about if-else is, you should always put the most restrictive condition at the top. Because, Python evaluates the conditions in a top-down approach. The if condition is evaluated first. If not satisfied, only then it will check other conditions one by one. If you have an else, it works as a default case. Else never has any condition. So, it gets executed if none of the if conditions are satisfied. Let us now run this code once again, for an age above 100. We enter 102. It says, invalid age. Then, you are a senior citizen. Python first evaluated this condition, and executed this print statement for invalid age. Then it came to this point, and hit this condition, and executed this statement. Ideally, if the invalid age condition is true, this second if-else should not get executed at all. For that, we must enclose this entire if-else, as a block, into the else part of the invalid age validation. Let us enter an else clause. Then colon. Now, this entire if-else code must be indented by an equal number of spaces, to put it under the else block. This print statement needs further indentation as it is again under this if. Likewise, we have to add 4 spaces at the start of each line, to indent all of them together, by an equal amount. Python will consider this entire block as one unit, and it will execute this block if this else part is executed. Otherwise, it will skip this entire thing. This is called a nested if-else, as we put one if-else statement within another if-else. This is very common in programming. So, we will now save this. And again run it. We will again try with an age above 100. Maybe, 105. Invalid age. Just see how it skipped this entire processing this time. It hit this if condition. After that, the control came directly to this point, skipping the else part. Let us run it again with a valid age. We will enter 21. You are a general citizen. Now it went inside this else block, and executed this nested if-else as usual. So in this class, we learned about if-else statements, how to join multiple conditions, and we learned about nested if-else. You can try the exercises given below for practice. In the next class, we will learn about list, which is very useful and also an important data type in Python. I hope you like this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.